Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast, Hot Mess Hate, where we do real talk about real things from the silly to the serious. So it's definitely been a minute since I have done one of these videos, doing things just a little bit different today than I normally do. I don't know if you hear the heavy breathing over here next to me. Totally one of my puppies. Since I last did one of these videos, we have gotten ourselves a new puppy. So I no longer have the luxury of locking myself in a nice quiet room and doing one of these. So we're going to see how this goes today. Might be interesting. I was going to do a talk today about seeing yourself through other people's eyes. So last week I was really struggling and my husband took me on an unexpected and kind of frustrating adventure. We ended up at a restaurant that we both love, and I was so tired, and I remember not being happy that he had drugged me out to this unknown place, this place I had no idea we were going to, and I didn't get a chance to change my clothes into appropriate clothes for this place. So the next day he sent me a picture of me while I was sitting in the restaurant, kicking myself for not being dressed appropriately and just being really down on myself about other things as well. And it was not a bad picture, and it really made me kind of second guess my beating up on myself. I think sometimes it would be really fantastic if we could just see ourselves through other people's eyes. Maybe we would be kinder to ourselves. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm not doing a super deep one today. This morning on the internet, I went sort of down a rabbit hole of weird facts, and I found some really neat stuff that I just thought I would share with everybody if you're interested. So my very first weird fact, I read in an article that the word testify is based on the ancient Roman practice of making men swear on their testicles when speaking in court. Google Fu on this one brings back a ton of very conflicting information, so I have no idea if that's true or not, but I thought it was interesting. I also learned that moonshiners used to use shoes with wooden blocks on the bottoms to make their footprints look like cow prints to keep their stills from being discovered, which I thought was ingenious. I wonder what they used to leave cow patties behind. I also learned that the patent for fire hydrants was lost in a fire. A guy named Frederick Graff, who was a chief engineer from Philadelphia Waterworks, filed the patent, but that patent was destroyed in 1836 when the DC Patent Office burned to the ground in a fire. I think I might have known this one, but I also learned, again, this morning that high heels were originally worn by men. Men wised up. And did you know that the French name for dandelions, which I am not going to attempt to pronounce, means wet the bed? I had no idea. I also had no idea that apparently dandelions have a diuretic effect. Maybe that's just drinking dandelion wine. Well, I also learned the first woman elected to the United States Congress was Jeannette Rankin, and she was elected in 1916. Which was 4 years before women were given the right to vote. So I totally want to do some digging there. Another fun fact, the first person ever to be convicted of speeding was traveling 8 miles per hour. This was Walter Arnold of Paddockwood, Kent, was apparently traveling 4 times the local speed limit in 1896. Meanwhile, in California, you can get a ticket for driving too slow. And anywhere you drive today, driving slow could totally be used as probable cause for getting pulled over and searched. Another somewhat unrelated, interesting fact. Did you know that your nostrils have a nasal cycle that switches every couple of hours? At all times, only one nostril is doing most of the nostril work, whatever that is. So that totally explains why when you get a stuffy nose, it starts in one nostril at a time. So I thought that was really interesting. Before toilet paper was a thing, people used to use corn cobs to wipe. Maybe there was a lot more corn way back then. I don't know. Fruit Loops are all the same flavor, and without saliva, humans can't taste. Not sure I want to try that one. Might be an interesting experiment, though. So here's one that's maybe near and dear to some folks that I know and love. Kentucky, the state of Kentucky, has more bourbon than it has people. I feel like I might be moving. I learned I love sushi. Who doesn't love sushi? And we all have the wasabi that goes with it. I learned that most wasabi isn't actually wasabi. It is apparently horseradish dyed green, which is cheaper than wasabi. Here's one for my mom. Nutmeg can be fatal. I had no idea. Apparently, 2 teaspoons of raw nutmeg can induce hallucinations and cause convulsions and nausea for days, which can also lead to death. Here's one I didn't Google when I came across it, but I feel like I maybe should. Eye of newt, toe of frog, and wool of bat are archaic terms for mustard seed, buttercup, and holly leaves. I have no idea if that's actually true. I might look that up later. A 2013 study showed that chewing gum boosts concentration, which I think is fantastic. Every school student should now be allowed to chew gum. And another 2013 study showed that kids ask 300 questions every day. So maybe if we give them gum, they can focus on a smaller number of questions. I also learned that apparently riding a roller coaster can help you pass a kidney stone. So I've got some friends that maybe could use some advice. Head over to Disney or wherever your local roller coaster place is. Hop on a roller coaster. It'll help you out if you need to pass a kidney stone. There, that's your medical advice from Hot Mess 8 for today. I learned that Greenland sharks can live for 500 years and that cows kill more people every year than sharks do. I also learned that cows give more milk when they listen to music. You guys hear my puppy behind me drinking all of the water. So I have always thought that chickens were evolution's answer to the T-Rex. Today I learned that dinosaurs used to swallow large rocks to help them digest food. So they just sit in the stomach and digest food. Chickens do this too. Some of my other rabbit hole fun fact Googling told me that chickens really are descended from T-Rexes. I now need to actually go look that up. I learned that a snail can sleep for up to 3 years. That sounds so amazing. I would love to sleep. 3 years might be a little too long though. Did you know that sea otters hold hands while they sleep so that they don't lose each other as they float on the water? How cute is that? I think that's pretty cute. I learned today that a pregnant goldfish is called a twit, but also that goldfish have memory spans of about 3 seconds, so she's not going to remember that you called her a twit. So it's totally okay. Rain on Saturn and Jupiter can contain diamonds. Who's moving? Like who's heading there? I also learned that the collective name for a group of unicorns is called a blessing, and that the national animal of Scotland is the unicorn. And did you know that Antarctica is the only continent on the planet without reptiles or snakes? If there are also no spiders, I might be moving.